We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Welcome to episode 183 of No Brains, No Headache podcast. My name is Jordan. I'm going to be your host today. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do it. As always, I'm with my co-host, confident, longtime friend. He's a fellow comedian as well. His name is Matt Cleary. Matt, real quick, how are you doing today?
Good.
You are doing good.
Yep. Just got some Tums in the old system. My body's trying to kill itself.
I was a little concerned about how your well-being would do today. We'll get into that later. But it's not just us two in the studio, you know. We're on to a new year, so we have to fire up the old interviews again. And we have the pleasure of being joined with a fellow local comedian and a good friend of ours. His name is Alex Ward. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I know you have a little bit of podcasting experience yourself.
Yeah. Whole 3 episodes of
How does this compare? Is this like the show or is this like amateur hour?
Well, I mean, it's definitely more professional than the last podcast that I was on. So, yeah, not as nerdy, obviously. It's definitely, we've taken a shift here in tone. There's a lot of sports stuff here and not as many Dungeons and Dragons figures running around.
You did say that you're playing D&D tomorrow,
Yes.
and I was just like, I'm just going to ignore that.
Okay, I knew you did.
I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah, Alex has already said a few questionable things that may end the interview early, but
Let's go. Come on, Spartans.
we're going to bust his balls for the next 90 minutes, get to know him, have some good conversation for this mindlessly entertaining show we have here. A couple of friends from Bismarck, North Dakota, shooting the shit weekly. Matt, do we have any housekeeping before we jump into it? Perhaps we recap our night last night.
Oh, yeah. So I got shit-faced again. No surprise there. If anyone's got to wear it, it's me. Brought a 12-pack to a party. Drank the 12-pack.
And then mooched a few drinks from some other people.
Oh, my God.
Well, in my defense, it was like, I thought it was going to be like, they were like BYOB, thinking that I'm like, oh, maybe not a lot of people are going to be drinking. Plot twist, literally everyone was drinking.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a shitload of booze there. So I was like, well, this is good for no one.
Well, you were telling me before the pod, Matt Kaiser is like really funny. Like,
Yeah. Like, I didn't really expect him to be like as funny as he like came off and had some good one-liners last night.
Yeah, we went to a birthday party last night and, obviously had a few cocktails and a good time as well. But what we did was played Whose Line Is It Anyway? Did a little improv. So that's what we're getting at here. It was a lot of fun. I was going to say before we even started recording, figured I'd save it because us three here make up a portion of the local comedy scene here in Bismarck, something we're trying to get off the ground. It is off the ground, but keep going and doing it and bringing that form of culture, that form of art and entertainment to the capital city, Western North Dakota, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the improv was fun, man. I think we definitely have to do that as a group of comedians sometimes, perhaps just like us get together privately first. And even I was thinking, I'm like, improv is essentially kind of like a form of charades. You could just play charades, and it's like kind of the same thing.
Well, I kind of feel like it helps you really be funny off the cuff because you have to think on your toes and kind of go within the moment to see what is actually going to hit. So I'd be down for that. I used to watch that all the time. When was it? It's Drew Carey, right?
Yeah, Drew Carey
was it?
Drew Carey, and then it was, I believe, a lady took it over towards the end there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sexist, so once a lady took it over, I was like, I'm out.
I appreciate your transparency.
Taking our jobs.
It just makes me think of that South Park episode with Macho Man Randy Savage. I don't need to discuss my transition. You know?
Yeah, the improv was a lot of fun. Somebody last night, because we had like a nice projector and like somewhat of a stage setup, so it was actually a nice.
Where was it at? It looked nice.
It was at a place called Co Studio, so it's like half the floor is an apartment, The other half is a studio available for. We've been to a comedy show there before. That's kind of how we've known the place, but it's available for like photo shoots, weddings, little parties, whatever. It's just kind of like a little venue. Might actually try to work out something with them to get a show again there in the future. But we had the projector screen, so like they would play a quick clip from YouTube from Whose Line It Is Anyway to kind of explain and refresh everyone like how it worked.
Dude, I was so drunk. They would play the thing and it clearly tells you how it works, and then I'd be like, what do you do?
Oh, Matt had no idea. His true colors came out. But it was funny. They showed a really old clip of Drew Carey when he was, rather large, and he's got those like big black long rims hanging on his 4 eyes. And so I hear somebody from the back of the crowd go, "Is he still alive?"
Honestly, is he?
Yes, he's the host of Price is Right.
Price is Right. Yeah.
He's been doing that for like almost 20 years now already.
Bob Barker finally kicked the bucket.
Did
Price
he?
is wrong, bitch.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he died. We had a guy on, creator out of Indianapolis, and he was like, we were talking about Bob Barker, and he's like, R.I.P. And I was like, Bob Barker's not dead.
We have a lot of debates like this on our show.
And then it usually a couple months later he died. We played a game on this show that one time that was called Dead or Alive. And it was me asking Jordan if certain people were dead
Or alive.
and the episode came out on Thursday, and we recorded on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, this guy died.
Oh,
Yeah, we killed him.
It was the guy that played Saul in Ocean's 11.
was it Bernie Mac? No.
No.
I was like, Bernie's been dead forever.
Yeah, the Ocean's 11 curse. Everyone's just dying.
But yeah, it was an absolute blast. Just getting up there, like you said, having to be off the cuff. It was good. We had a little bit of a crowd to have more volunteers because there actually was a little bit of pressure because Brando, our buddy, it was his birthday, and we are known as his comedian friends. And so everyone was like, "Oh, you guys are the professionals. You guys are
Tell
gotta
us a
do."
joke.
And I was like, "There's a ton of pressure here," and they're like, "No pressure." And then they sang like a choreographed 5-part like Irish jig song,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "How is there no pressure after that?"
You guys rehearsed something for this.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
actually rehearsed it and they killed it. One guy wasn't even reading from his script. He was just.
they literally wrote a song.
They each had a highlighted
Yeah.
part.
What the fuck? So you had comedians and then fucking.
It was like a
theater
table
nerds?
read.
Is that what you're telling me happened down here?
It was a definitely like Sharks versus the Jets situation.
Oh my god!
West Side Story joke for you.
Yeah. At the end of
Were
the
they
night,
like? Were
Yeah.
they doing it?
I was trying to get Matt to wrestle people at the end of the night. We didn't have any takers, unfortunately.
Oh man, fuck! I wish I'd have gone. Now I'd have wrestled Matt.
It was a cool place. It was really wide open concept and like having the little. It's not necessarily a stage, but it acted like a stage, and having the projector screen there. It was a lot of fun. I definitely had a blast, and it was just a nice continuation of our a start of our comedy crew here in Bismarck, which you're a part of.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Brandon. I love Brandon. I like calling him Big Squid now. I just said that to say happy birthday to him. I was like, it's done. He's now Big Squid. He's like one of them big Mario squids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God.
Yeah. No. I'm really happy. It took me a long time to finally get the courage to get up on stage and just be like, hey, I'm fat and I'm also retarded. And, my body's breaking down. Someone help me, please. Throw me a life. Throw me a raft or something. It was great. What would you like to know?
Well, maybe let's back up and let's start from the beginning because you're not even from Bismarck.
No, I'm from a backwoods place called Michigan. It's a lot like North Dakota. It has more trees and less teeth. And I mean, I do love Michigan. I love the scenery and everything. But when the recession hit when I was in college, it hit really hard. And people were losing jobs left and right because their main industry was the auto industry. So I was going to college at Fair State University. Shout out Bulldogs.
No.
They have a pretty good hockey team.
Yeah, they're like really good hockey team.
Oh, yeah. How good are they?
I mean, I think they're national champs in their division.
Are the University of North Dakota good?
Now you're making me want to look up the stats, but
I went to a hockey school too. Okay, we can go toe to toe here. All right, I'm not going to give you much ground.
so yeah, I went to school for radiology. coached high school football while
Yes,
I was
you did.
in,
Yes,
while I was
you
in school.
did.
I did.
That probably explains it is negative 50 degrees and you're wearing fucking shorts.
Yeah, I am, boy.
Put that thigh down.
Yeah, I noticed that at our last open mic too. It was starting to get real chilly. It wasn't as cold as it is now, but I just kind of looked over at you because it dawned on me that you're a classic short wearer. I was like, are you wearing shorts right now? And you were.
Do you own pants?
Yeah, do
I
you?
own one pair of pants.
Is it those pants that you can zip the legs off
No,
of?
no. I did not.
You
I
should
did.
bring those back, by the way.
I did not go for the check pants. You know.
They left? Never thought they left.
Yeah, they're gone. Like I had them when I was a kid, and I would always lose the
Bottom part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Adidas and Reebok got bought out by Russia and any Eastern European country, so we just don't have them here anymore. Yeah, no, I, yeah, you're right. Fuck, I started coaching football, and I just started wearing more shorts and less pants, and I was like, it's pretty nice. Even negative 20 with negative 50 with the windshield, it doesn't bother me that much. I think Bill Burr has a bit on it where he talks to that guy and he's like, my legs don't get cold. I don't feel my legs. My legs don't get cold.
You know, I coach football as well.
Yeah.
And that job joined the list of other jobs that I've been fired from. So that was fun. I ended undefeated. I went 1-0 in my short tenure. So I'm on top.
I was an offensive line coach, and I was.
Yes, you were.
And
You look like an offensive line coach.
I was a right tackle. I was. I wasn't protecting any blind side, so maybe the buffet side. But at this point, you know, yeah, I coached O-line, and then I coached the linebackers and the D-line. And I was assistant coach. I was never a head coach or anything. My buddy TC and I, we both graduated at the same time, and then they offered us jobs to be assistants right when we graduated.
It's
Here's
like
$12.
Yeah, these guys are clearly going nowhere.
Oh,
And
and-
so we should give them a job.
They're like, they're sticking around. Yeah. No, they're like, yeah, we can't pay you until all the jerseys are back in. So it's like almost like you have to start knocking on kids' lockers, being like, you know,
It's like if we have to buy any new jerseys,
It's out of your paycheck.
yeah, it's coming straight out of your paycheck.
Great leadership.
what's that?
Great leadership. Let's just make the guys we paid $2 an hour to go collect all the
I mean,
Alex is beating the shit out of some kid's dad for
Well,
losing his jersey.
well, here's the thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not. I mean,
Go for it.
it's
No
been
gonna
over,
find out.
Yeah, no one listens anyways.
it's been over 10 years, but they didn't even pay me in a check or cash. They bought me Walmart gift cards like some Ponzi scheme scam. I had to meet.
kidding me?
I had to meet the head coach there, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing, bud? Hey, here you go. Here's like it's like $300 in Walmart gift cards." He's like, "All right."
You got $300 and you coached the whole season?
Yeah.
And went on road trips?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 300. Yeah.
Dude, I got paid like $3,200 to do junior high golf for 6 weeks.
Oh wow.
Was this a private school?
Oh
that
no.
You were? Okay.
Public, real public. I mean, super public, rural, like bunch of farm kids.
Oh, well, there's a problem.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I had a good time. I kind of bummed them out one time though. They were real excited because like I'm 19 because I got held back because I couldn't fucking read as a kid. So you know,
that'll happen.
they're like, nice, Ward, you can drive, you can DD for us after this away game, right? And all the kids had to go back with one of the coaches on the school bus, and then I drove the rest of the coaches to the bar, and then they couldn't drink there because they wouldn't let me inside, even though I wasn't drinking. So
So what, did you guys get a roadie? A couple roadies?
no,
It made you sit in the car while they drank.
no, they were just fucking pissed, and we drove back from like Morley Stanwood or something. So,
What's the farthest place away that you would travel to?
as in like for the games for football?
Yeah, like time-wise. Like how long are road trips?
hour
Is there
and a half, probably 2 hours, I think.
That's it?
Yeah,
Dude, in North Dakota,
4 hours.
you have to go like 4 hours sometimes.
well, I mean, yeah, to see anything. So
That's true.
You know what? What's your problem?
my problem is there's too much wind and not enough trees, and the problem is like coalescing.
I think each person in North Dakota could plant 1 million trees and we would still have wide open spaces.
Yeah,
We have to burn the trees for warmth.
The only trees that were planted were in 1922 for a shelter belt so your fucking sticks and stones house didn't blow over when the wind started howling.
And we don't plant trees very well. When I bought my house, some guy tried to plant 2 trees, like just in the middle of the yard. Like there was no rhyme or reason where they're at. And it was so shittily done that I was like, this is stupid. And I literally just went and pulled the tree out of the ground with my hands.
What? You're a fucking monster, dude. Pulling that tree out of the ground.
No, it was
One
not-
less tree, Matt.
Yeah, I'm actually negative like tree, not pro tree.
We got to get rid of them.
Yeah, I would if
What, they fall on your grandfather or something? You got a vendetta? You and John Wick the trees?
I've fallen out of some trees.
Oh,
I
man.
got drunk one time and I was climbing a tree and it was an evergreen tree at our buddy's house. And
Why are you climbing an evergreen tree? First question.
no one knows, but it was back where they had
Because he wants to be hurt on the
Yeah.
way up and the way down.
yeah, and I fell and like everyone's like, yeah, you could just hear like as I'm going down, just breaking branches.
Jesus. Like that fucking Chris Farley and
Yeah.
what was that movie? Almost Heroes?
Oh my God, it's one of the
Very
best.
underrated movie, maybe of all time.
Wasn't that? No, was that his last one? Yeah, I think it was his last movie.
Are you sure?
It's either that or it is. No, it's that one. I think it is that
I
one.
love when he's doing like the hold me back and he's like, and the lady like spits on him. I hope Satan himself burns the flesh from your miserable bones. And he's just like stops. He's just, good God, lady. Enough! Do you want my head to explode?
I love
That
it.
was Alex actually reading in junior high.
No, I
Senior year. His 19-year-old senior year.
24.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like my senior year, I took very little academic classes. I had already had all my credits I needed. I shoved as many gym classes, weightlifting classes, and art classes I could. And yeah,
Exactly what we did too.
yeah.
Yeah, I had 2 art classes my last semester of my senior year. I had 2 art classes, 2 gyms, and an off period. I only had 2 actual classes. And combined with those 2 art classes, I did 1 project.
Oh, really?
I would just sometimes not go.
Art teacher was a lovely lady, but a huge pushover.
Yeah, and and my sister was a great artist, so she just loved me and be like, you could do whatever you want. And the only project I did was I traced a picture of a cartoon dolphin.
Oh, really?
And then I used the wrong paint on it, so it was like really glossy on half
man.
of it, and then the other half wasn't. So it just looked so shitty.
You gave it to her. She was just like, oh,
Yeah,
oh, look at
nice.
that.
it's like I use lead-based paint. Just eating paint chips in the back of the art room.
Oh man.
Oh my God. From here on out, you keep your distance, all right?
I do have a question about Michigan. So
Yeah.
my family hails from the UP.
Mm-hmm.
Do they play in the same like division in football and stuff?
Yep, they do. So the year
It has to be like the farthest distance traveled. Like if you're from like
6 hours,
southeastern Michigan and you were playing like northwestern,
Yep.
you have to drive through like Mackinac Island or
Usually they wouldn't see each other until playoffs.
Yeah,
and it's
that's-
about first or second round of playoffs that they'd meet. Like we had a year.
well, where you're from is pretty centrally located.
Yeah,
right?
Reed City is. I mean, like if you've ever met anybody from Michigan, they fucking put their hand up and they start doing this
Yep.
shit. And we're literally Reed City's right in the middle. You know.
We got a map pulled up. So is the UP this upper peninsula part?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Escanaba. Escanaba is the Cleary clan.
Escanaba in the moonlight.
Yes, fucking thank you, God. No one I've talked to has seen that movie.
Everyone.
See it right
I have
there?
everyone that I know has seen that movie.
Oh man, and me trying to show it to them, like Jeff Daniels is in this movie, and they're like, "Who?" I'm like, "The guy from Dumb and Dumber." He's from Michigan.
If they ask who Jeff Daniels is, you're just like, I don't think we can be friends anymore.
I think you're
I
right.
think you should just kick him in the dick and walk away.
Here, you had gloves this entire time.
yeah. I'm doing another one-nighter, beat the shit out of some guy who didn't know who Jeff Daniels was.
Yeah, no, that is a fucking bummer. We would have to go to Menominee. The year I stopped, the year after I stopped coaching, they had to go against Menominee, and well, it was how they had like the forum brackets. There was like like Michigan Live or whatever. And I remember my dad, they were planning it out, and they're like, they're definitely playing against Menominee. So my dad made a big sign, right? Mind you, I'm not coaching anymore. I'm not playing anymore. And my old man's there. And
So at that point, it's just weird.
it was, I mean, I love my dad. I love him very much, but it was a little weird. Him and his old buddies, I mean, they're Reed City alumni. They go to every home game they can. But he was there, and he had this big sign, and it was just like, here come the trolls, because anybody lives under the bridge of Mackinac is considered a troll.
Okay.
And then guess what? They didn't fucking play Menominee anyway. So just my dad with his fucking son.
Extra weird.
Yeah.
In West Canaan, Texas, football's a way of life. In Reed City, Michigan, there's 6 guys that think it's a way of life.
Oh man, they hold it down too. I love them. They hold it down because they act like those guys. Yes. They're like, we would have had a title if we'd have won more. Like, yeah, I know that.
We were like the cheering section at high school. It turns out in high school, kids drink, and like Jordan would be in charge of like starting chants, and it'd be like, "We're on offense
For basketball.
and he'd be like, "You got defense? Defense?" We're like, no, not defense. Like, okay,
No, I would start the defense chant, and people would have to be like, "Oh, dude, we are on offense." Like, shit, not again. I did that a couple times.
I'll be in my car drinking.
Find me in my car at halftime, getting an HJ in the parking lot.
Old fashioned.
I'll clean up.
Oh god.
Yeah, one time at halftime of a basketball game, I got an HJ in the parking lot, and I had to tell the
Shout out that soldier.
I told the girl to go in ahead of me because I had to clean up.
Oh my god.
I also have to catch my breath.
Please tell me you didn't look at her and go, was it good for you?
I was at that point. I was just concerned about getting some oxygen into my brain and the semen not freezing to my window.
Oh my god.
Oh, what's that on your door? A dried cum.
Jeez. It's extra sticky. Yeah, it's cold out. They played pranks on us when we were seniors. The cheerleaders would come in and we had football camp at the high school, and we slept down for like I think it was like 4 days when I was going. It got too expensive for them to like take people out to the boonies to like a legit campsite and have the football players out there doing drills. So they just started doing them at the high school.
Could have told you that
in the
for
gym.
free if they're paying coaches and Walmart gift cards.
Fuck yeah, dude. They're like, don't tell anybody about this, especially the IRS.
Yeah,
you know?
what did you spend?
That's exactly what it sounds like. It's like they just took the credit card for the school or whatever, just went to Walmart, and we're just going to write this off as an expense to avoid some payroll taxes on $300. Don't want to pay that, $24 or whatever.
Coming out of the budget. We didn't sell enough pies this year. But I remember those cheerleaders came to prank us, and every year they do it. And the first time when I was there, they fucking put mustard over people's cars. You know what happens with that? It's acidic. And it like they said like fuck you and shit, and they like put like letters and stuff in there and big globs. They threw tomatoes on people's cars and they just pull them off, and it, like the paint was peeled off and shit.
Yeah, I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I think we actually had this discussion. Prank goes too far when property damage gets involved.
Yeah. When I have to start paying for something, then we've gone too far.
Or if I get pranked, I don't really get back at people well. I'll just go like over the top too much. Like some guy like tapped me on the shoulder and I looked the wrong way. I burned his house down. I don't get even.
Yeah, you gave him the old Pearl Harbor treatment. Fucking bomb your ship, and you're like, I'm going to show your country something.
Dude, the U.S. is pretty good at getting back at people.
Yeah, dude, we're fucking number one. I don't know if you've heard this.
We killed like 200,000 Japanese people.
What's the Reed City mascot?
It's a coyote.
Reed City Coyotes?
No, coyotes.
Coyotes?
They would say.
Coyotes?
Yeah.
Coyote Uglies?
I mean, I'm from there, so probably.
There's a town in Michigan that has the mascot, the Nimrods.
I've heard of that, but I can't
It's in the
remember.
Upper Peninsula, and we were driving to Escanaba one time, and my dad made us take like a 2-hour diversion just to take a picture by the sign that said "Home of the Nimrods."
It's the UP is crazy too, because probably when you guys were going through, they didn't even have like an interstate they had like the highway up there.
All highways.
All highway.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're legit just trucking 55 miles an hour through there. You're like, this is wonderful. It's just trees up to the sky on each side of you.
We should take some of those and put them in North Dakota.
Yeah.
You guys want to know something? Life is a highway.
Life is a highway.
I'm so angry right now.
Actually, I did my first stand-up gig at Fair State University when I was in college. They did a talent show. We participated. They chose like the top 3 comedians.
Where were you?
I was second. actually.
Okay.
The girl that got first, she'd been doing it for like 10 years. She was like 33 and still in college.
I know a local comedian who's been doing it for 10 years, and that does not mean you're a good comedian.
Yeah. Who is it? Tell me after. I want to know. I don't know who
What do you think? Your old podcast buddy.
Oh, that guy. Every time I talk to him or talk to somebody about him, he's been doing comedy longer. First time I met him, he's like, I've been doing it 2 years. And then I talked to him later, he's like, I've been doing it for 4 years. Now you tell me, he's like, I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm like, okay. Something's not connecting.
Well, the lie does not add up.
No.
It's like when you'd play telephone in junior high or grade school. And it'd be like, we'd start out as Jesus loves you, and it would end with like, Jesus is a Jew.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
I mean, statement's still true.
And then it clearly, like, it was...
Totally got it.
You would know who changed it because that person would be like laughing in the middle of it and then like waiting for the last person to say it.
Good times, Matt. Good times.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
We're gonna end up with just two of us in this interview.
Yeah.
So you go from Michigan. How do you make your way to North Dakota?
Well, when I graduated college, it was right after the recession had ended. The bubble finally was starting to like restabilize, and there was no jobs in medicine. I work in radiology, and I have been working in radiology for the last over 10 years now. And I get out, no jobs. I mean, there's like PRN, like as needed shit, but nothing like dude, I got like fucking 30 grand in student debt. I can't PRN student debt like that. So my friend, she lived in Wheaton, Minnesota, and she graduated with me, and she goes, hey, there's a job in Aberdeen. Do you want it? And I was working at a factory at a time because I got fired from my other job. I was a youth corrections counselor or whatever. So I got hit for insubordination, so that was fun.
What'd you do?
I let the kids play Magic the Gathering, the card game.
That seems pretty harmless.
You think so, but they're a Christian organization, and long story short, somebody's Southern Baptist grandma questioned the Christianity of the place I was working at. They didn't like that. They wanted me to stop teaching the kids how to play the game, and it had a lot of positives. It taught them sportsmanship, math, strategy.
Yeah, honestly, I think you got out at a good time from the sounds of it.
Yeah, I got real petty because like when I landed my job in Aberdeen, I was like, I'm gonna send them a whole fucking box of cards. Just to the place.
You?
No, I wanted to so bad, but
I one time rage quit a job and sent the executive director a very poorly written, because I did it when I was just drunk as shit. I think I still have it somewhere, but like the email I sent him was just so funny because none of the grammar worked out. And I basically just told him to go fuck himself, but like it was just like, hi, oh, in thy, and I was like, what was I doing?
yeah, who controlled my body?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So you get to Aberdeen.
Get to Aberdeen. I did like a Skype interview, and I ended up working for a hospital in Aberdeen. There's two of them down there. You pick which one. But it's the better one. And not because I was working there, but they've been there longer. And worked there for 7 years. And then met my wife online on Plenty of Fish, not just for booty calls. And she kind of gave me an ultimatum. She's going to be watching this. She knows. She's like, well, I'm not moving down there. I was like, wonderful. I guess I'm moving to Bismarck. So
we compromised, and I moved to
yeah,
Bismarck.
exactly. Big compromise.
Right.
So, yeah, I moved up here. And yeah.
How long have you been in Bismarck?
It was 4 years in November.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, 4 years in August.
But like literally since you did it in college, how many times did you comedy in college?
Once.
So you did it one time in college, and then how long was it before you?
Last year.
So like
2011 is when I did it. And
yeah,
then
so you had like 10, 12 years.
of just ruminating on like how much I'm like, God, I'm such a fat piece of shit. I have to tell other people because apparently they don't have eyes.
Oh, it's
So-
someone told me like when I was looking up like how to write jokes better or like how to do something, and like comedy comes from sadness, and I was like, sweet, I'm sad all the time.
Yeah, I'm about to be real professional.
Yeah.
yeah.
Most comics, I would say, have some sort of mental instability going on.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. You might be
100%.
the most stable of the group.
I don't know.
for sure.
Brandon's doing
Oh,
pretty
but yeah,
good.
but
Okay, he's
he's an anomaly.
I mean, and then you got Jim too. You know, I don't take my shirt off as much. I try to
Yeah.
keep as many shirts on as
Hey, he
possible.
gained 5 pounds. You guys see that?
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had his posts about his fucking weight, and
Yeah.
it was 240. Is that 245?
Yeah,
So-
no.
Oh no, I'm gonna jump on there.
I
I'm gonna
love,
be mean.
yeah, I love Jim, but I don't give a shit.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, that's why I was making fun of him at the roast. I'm like, well, you think you're gonna cure racism when you take your shirt off?
You're in the wrong place to cure racism.
Oh man.
North Dakota's Olympic sport is subtle racism.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, you should have saw Matt on the stage last night, just on fire.
Yeah. There was
no filter.
yeah,
That dissolves pretty quick
Yep.
with the beast.
no comment.
For the best.
North Dakota's kind of funny. Both Dakotas are, because I don't like necessarily find like racism towards black people. It's usually like it's subtle racism towards Native Americans. You know.
Yeah. Well, and you for a while thought you were Native American.
Yeah, that's another story. You know.
Yeah, let's jump into there real quick.
Yeah,
You are dressed in the regalia
Well,
of
this is like a cowboy fucking design. I really like it. My wife bought it for me for Christmas. Thanks for shitting on it, Matt.
Yeah, it looks
No,
great,
I'm just fucking with it.
but it explains the confusion of how you thought you were of Native American descent.
Yeah, so I'm still like, I'm very gullible, even as old as I am. And when I was younger, it was
Do
way
you
worse.
not look in a mirror to see that you were
Okay,
just
hold
like-
up. I used to have nice long hair, okay, and I was like, oh, I got nice cheekbones, and my ears are this way, and my nose is a certain way, and I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah. So I was driving with my parents one day. You know, you sit in the back seat, and I was just fucking curious. I go, Dad, what are we? And my dad's like, oh, we're Irish and Scottish and Swedish, and on your mom's side, you're German and French. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, we're also Native American. And I was like, really? He goes, yes. I was like, cool. What tribe are we? He goes, oh, son, we're a real ancient tribe. He says, we're Dewigwa. That's not a fucking tribe. If you didn't know. So I go to school, and there was a girl there. I went to school with. Her name's Ebony, and she was like half black and half Blackfoot. Kind of funny in my opinion, but all right. And she goes, you're Indian? I go, yeah. She goes, what tribe are you? I'm like, well, I'm Dewigwa. What tribe are you? And she just goes, Dewigwa. She goes, I'm Blackfoot. I've never heard of Dewigwa. And my dad, when he told me, he goes, I'm not shitting you. He goes, when people ask you about this, you tell them we're a really ancient tribe, and we've probably been forgotten. And I'm like 10 or 11. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And I just run off and just start telling everybody, And then when I was like doing youth corrections at that place, we would have Native kids there. And when I would have to like restrain the Native kids, I legit like Robert Downey Jr.'d them from Tropic Thunder. I'm like, you're making our people look bad. Like I did do that shit. It's so fucking cringy. And I look back on it and I'm like, oh, because I got tattoos on me that are all like Native American tattoos. I got medicine wheel and shit. Yeah, you guys have seen it. So.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
So how long did this go on? When did you figure this out?
I was like,
sounds traumatic.
Yeah, it's me using the wrong social security number for more than half of my life.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's not so bad. This is like, I thought I was like a different kind of person, It went on for like years until I was like 3 years in at Aberdeen. So it went on for like 15 years or so. And I was on the phone with my parents one night. We were working late night in the X-ray, and it was my buddy. His name's Chris. It was Chris and I and the CT tech, Nicole. We're all really good friends. And he'll probably watch this episode too, but he won't forget this either. I'm on the phone with my parents, and my dad's like, yeah, your mom and I did 23andMe. And the first words out of my mouth are, yeah? How much Native American are we? And my dad goes, that's the thing. we're not. I was just like, what?
You made this part of your identity for like most of
You
your
took
life.
pride in this, didn't you? Sounds like you did.
Dude, I took severe
in
pride.
the most innocent way possible.
You are the Asian kid in not another teen movie who's not actually Asian.
Yeah, they're just like looking at the sun too much or something.
Any of you guys get laid this weekend? No, I went to visit grandfather.
No, I did. I mean, I was judgy of like white people that had like dream catchers and shit. And I'm like, fucking poser, you know. And then I find out I am not. And I'm like, oh, I got to get rid of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I need to go to some therapy.
You go in and you have like one of those bowls that like you're just rimming around sage burning.
Oh yeah, man.
Your dad told you that, was it wigwam?
The wigwa.
Yeah. Well, that's a.
You're looking at wigwam.
It's a tent.
Yeah. Son, we are the tent people.
Tent man.
Oh my God. It was bad. But you know what was funny though? It was believable because I have cousins that are natives with the same last name as me. So I just went, oh yeah, no, I just came out a little lighter.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the oven that long, you know?
I played high school golf with a ginger native. He looked like an alien.
I used to back in the day. I used to go with a girl who was blonde, blue-eyed, and had her tribe card, and she was a teacher at the tribe in Mount Pleasant. So I was like, oh, okay, it's not that far off. I'm fine, you know. The copium that I just kept inhaling the entire time.
Sounds like a real Gypsy Rose situation. A lot of things just kind of fell through the cracks.
I didn't kill my dad though. So
And then years later, you find
first
out.
off, it was her mom.
I mean, my dad wasn't trying to use me to get native benefits either, you know.
So you were basically claiming it for no reason.
None. I just wanted to fit in.
How did that make you feel?
When I found out,
Yeah. Or how was the rest of the 23andMe convo?
I mean, it was just like what I told you. It was like just the whitest thing you could think of. It was just Scots, Irish, English, Swedish, and like German and French. So it's like all
Just a
of that.
European whore.
Yeah, my mom had my mom's, I guess, DNA had like a lot of Eastern European, and it was at the point where it was just like, it's one of them. Like they couldn't even nail it down. They're just like, it's this region here. I was like,
Just
Jesus.
points to the west.
I was like, Barb, you're getting around.
Yeah. It's a part of the Baltics.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, your mother's genes hate itself.
It's the only thing we know is that it's part of the former Soviet Union.
Yeah, my mom was a sleeper agent. So.
Yeah, it would honestly be nice if just the Soviet Union came back because it would take care of a lot of confusion on 23andMe.
Yeah, please, Putin for me.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Just says USSR.
What were your first steps in de-Native Americanizing yourself?
I got rid of a lot of dream catchers that were in my house.
Says like 14 dream catchers.
I know. I was like, these weren't doing shit anyways.
You're
so-
selling them on Etsy.
Oh, I donated them to like Goodwill. I'm like, well, somebody's gonna be getting these. Some grandma's coming in and she's gonna re-gift these to her grandkids. I don't know. I ended up giving away like a lot. My mom bought me like a bunch of art that had like a Native American shamans and shit. And like it looked a lot like this wolf thing here behind me. So just that, and
One of my favorite
Yeah,
pieces.
that was a good buy.
I had to go on Facebook and like take out a lot of Native American quotes about how like this is our land. And
Just like
shit.
you just scrub your
Yeah.
social media.
Oh, I was like, oh, yeah.
Post
I
that
was like,
said,
it's gone.
"This is our land."
Yeah, get out of here, you white piece of shit. Yeah, no.
A Wigwa people, a Wigwa pride, or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
I had to get rid of all that.
Cherokee people.
Yeah, I would walk around telling people too, but I read Dennis Banks' autobiography, and they're like, "Who?" I'm like, nobody. He was the head of the American Indian movement in the 70s, so it's actually a good read if you want to read a pretty cool story. But
Well, at least you're educated on the topic,
yeah, I like to like push my glasses up when I'm about to tell somebody something I think is important. So,
It's kind of, I literally, when I talk, I think everyone's thinking like, oh, this is going to be like the most profound thing ever. And it's just me like, I like to put my Pop-Tarts in the toaster before I eat them.
can I confess something to you? I didn't know you could do that with Pop-Tarts up until like 2 years ago.
Wait, do what?
Put them in the toaster.
Isn't that the whole objective?
Yeah, my wife said the same thing. I didn't know.
That's the OG objective. Now we are a lazy society that just likes to eat our Pop-Tarts straight out of the packaging.
I was like, man, these would be better warm. I don't know why. I was like, I don't know why I just didn't put them in the toaster, but like she caught me eating she caught me eating like a chicken. In my defense, I was pulling Colin Gettysburg, South Dakota for a hospital down there. And I was like buying what I could from their very small grocery store there. And I had like chicken, like slices and like cheddar cheese and peanut butter. And that's all I had. Yeah. And I fucking wrapped it and made it into like little, what do you call them?
Maybe
like,
you might
little
be Native
pinwheels.
American.
Yeah, it was like they were little pinwheels. I was just
Poor man's pinwheels.
And she was on the phone with me. She goes, "What are you eating?" And
You just hear smacking.
like a horse with peanut butter in its mouth. I was like, "Oh." I told her what it was, and she goes, "I can't take you anywhere."
Yeah. What do you order at a restaurant?
She wasn't even with you.
No, but she's like, I have to throw the whole person out.
I think we got to break up.
How did that taste?
It tasted fine. In my head, I was like, oh, I've had like peanut butter fried chicken from like the Chinese restaurant. This is just with cheese, right?
It's probably because it wasn't chicken.
Yeah.
Why didn't you? We're gonna deep dive here.
Okay.
Why didn't you just roll up the chicken and cheese and eat that, and then just have a few scoops of the peanut butter? Because
that's too much effort. I just wanted to get it all in one go.
Do you eat peanut butter straight out of the jar?
No.
What are your thoughts on doing that?
I mean, that's fine. I'd like to have something with it though.
And it helps.
Yeah.
Matt, are you a peanut butter straight out of the jar person?
No.
Or do you have dignity?
Do you like peanut butter?
Yeah, I like peanut butter toast.
Yes.
God, I'm just gonna sound autistic. I like toast.
I think we've established we all have something going on there.
I'm a peanut butter straight out of the jar guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different when you live alone.
I was
too.
gonna say,
Like,
yeah, it's not like somebody else is coming over and you're like, oh, let me whip you up a quick PB&J.
Well, guys, just remind me of my loneliness. Thanks.
I just remember not to get anything with peanut butter at your house.
You know what? I'll see you guys later.
There's just a dick shape in the peanut butter jar.
What was that fucking movie where they did the grapefruit and they put a hole in the grapefruit? They were fucking the grapefruit. It was a comedy.
I was thinking American Pie when he fucks his pie.
No,
But
I can't remember. It was in like the same time frame of when Horrible Bosses came out. It actually might be that movie. But
Banging a grapefruit?
Yeah.
It wasn't like Knocked Up or something, was it?
Oh, it might be. I can't remember.
Knocked Up is a great movie too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to put that like Native American story into a comedy bit, and I can't do it. And I work with a lot of natives.
Just tell the truth. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, and that I feel like I'm not getting a punchline when I tell the story. It's just a funny story, and like I work with a native doctor and I work with a couple native nurses, and they're like, you need to say that on stage, and I'm like, I don't know how to like form it. And do I just go out there and say it? Or
Okay, I just found a lot of grapefruit stuff. According to Healthline, grapefruiting is the act of giving a blowjob with the aid of a hollowed-out grapefruit that you run up and down the shaft while sucking on the head.
Jesus,
what's happening?
How big do they think penises are? You just get a grapefruit through that.
Grapefruits are large. I was trying to see if that was what movie it was from, and now I know what grapefruiting is. So thanks, Healthline.
And I would need like a lime.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't have any open cuts in the crotchal region.
Speaking of having a small equipment, or I got this joke I'm trying to work out about how, like, you know, you guys know I've talked about it on stage. Like I've been into bigger women like my entire life, right?
Okay.
Right. But like I have the appetite of a black guy, but I got like the equipment of a white one. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if it's going to be like evolution either. Like maybe my kids, like their ancestors down the line, they'll have bigger penises because maybe they'll be into like.
Well, they're going to think
like
they're Native American for about 15 years there.
Maybe that's the word initiation.
I wish that you had kids when you thought you were Native Americans and just named one of them like a very native name and then found out you didn't.
I just call him Joaquin Phoenix or something. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what that whole family is anyways, a bunch of hippies.
True.
Joaquin Phoenix's family?
They were a bunch of hippies.
Yeah, weren't they in a cult?
Was it that?
I'm pretty sure
I
he
think it
was born into a cult.
I just remember his brother's name was River, and didn't he have a sister named like Rain or something?
I believe something like that. The river part is for
Yeah, and then they didn't name him anyway. I mean Joaquin, but
Have you seen Napoleon?
no, is it good?
I haven't either.
I want to watch it. I really want to watch it. I think that's like up there with like another guy's movie like Braveheart and Patriot and all that kind of stuff. I think Napoleon's gonna be up there as one of those all time, like 3:10 to Yuma, No Country for Old Men.
I think there's a couple porno scenes in Napoleon.
He was a freak, apparently.
Yeah,
Now I'm interested.
They just cut to him just banging his wife a few times.
You might
apparently.
not be though. If you heard what he wrote to Josephine, he would write her letters and be like, "I'm gonna be home in 3 weeks. Don't bathe."
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's hot.
Oh, ew, man. Especially back then, and they're French. What the fuck is going on? That's the smelliest thing in the world.
Yeah, you already smell like shit if you're French anyways, so.
I'm surprised they don't have Sasquatch tails over in France as bad as they all smell.
Joaquin Phoenix was part of the Children of God cult.
That's right.
And got out of that bitch.
Didn't they lose a bunch of money to that? It was like a big
Well,
scam.
everyone loses money when you join a cult because you basically just give them.
Some people get Kool-Aid and lose everything.
What if you just really liked Kool-Aid and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Tom Jones really thought. I was really excited for the Kool-Aid and people started falling over.
That's a rough listen. Have you heard the audio from that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
What audio?
from the Jonestown Massacre?
Is that the Kool-Aid one?
Yep.
The classic Kool-Aid one?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
What audio do they have? Do they record them just dying or what?
It was him on the microphone, and you can hear kids screaming in the background because it was painful to die. And then
shit available?
what's that?
Is this shit available
Oh
online?
yeah, oh yeah.
I know what I'm doing after this.
I'm gonna feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people that didn't drink the Kool-Aid, he had armed mercenaries there to shoot them and kill them.
He like killed a congresswoman that like
Congressman.
that came down to a U.S. congressman
To, like,
came down
investigate,
and-
negotiate.
Yep, and he like on the plane tarmac like had his mercenaries kill the guy.
Gun him down while he was on the yeah.
Wow.
It's wild.
It's a very interesting like watch. If you have any documentary on it, it's pretty legit.
Yeah, go down a YouTube rabbit hole of just
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched that Gypsy Rose documentary on HBO.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
kinda
you
old,
posted
but
that. Yeah. How was that?
Well, I was like, what's all this Gypsy Rose stuff about I keep seeing? And everyone's like loving this person.
Yeah, Samson just did a tattoo for somebody that was her.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, and it actually kind of went a little viral, and someone would comment like, "This is horrible," and like Samson literally wrote back the funniest thing ever. He's just like, "There's clearly different types of tattooing if you're trying to like do this, and then at the end of it, just goes." I really hope you get Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh my god. Dude, Samson is one of the funniest. I love that guy. He's so fucking funny.
He was sending me pictures of him wearing a top hat, and I was just like, it's pretty
Dude,
hard to be your friend.
Abraham Lincoln. That's my favorite joke.
The joke that is really sticking with me right now is Brando saying, "Did you guys know that there's an all-male version of the WNBA?"
That's great. I love that.
I was in tears.
How did his show go? Wasn't that Friday? Or no?
It was his birthday party.
No, when was his show for the college? Is
Uh,
that tonight?
I don't know.
No idea.
I hope he
Soon.
did well.
One of these days.
Yeah.
In between a lot of jokes. I've been in between jokes for about 11 years now. So
Yeah, there's how do you write jokes? Are you like a notepad guy and then workshop them, or
Personally,
yeah?
I drift in and out of active consciousness as I drive to work every morning. And I just, whatever horrible thoughts I get, and I'm like, oh, that might be funny. And I like try to keep remembering it. And I just try to see myself doing it on stage. I get to work, I write it down. And then sadly, I go and harass all my coworkers that are like 25 and up, like female nurses. I'm like, hey, my dick is small. How you doing? And they're just like, very funny, Alex. Nice. Yeah, don't say that in front of HR. All right.
You're workshopping a joke on the toilet next to a doctor who's also on the can.
Yeah.
Just slide the notebook under the stall.
I got one that I'm really happy. I can't wait to get up on stage and try it out. Was it next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want to spoil it, but it's essentially, it's a transplant joke. There's a phenomenon. I'll just tell you the basis. There's a phenomenon with transplants. Like, say I get a liver from somebody.
You take on that person's
you have
personality.
Yeah. Well, parts of it.
Yeah.
Right. So like, yeah. And that's
Because of your heritage, you need a new liver.
I do.
Okay.
I need to flush the rest of it out of me.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, it's not going that direction. I'm gonna wait. I'll tell you guys on Wednesday.
I still can't believe that. Well, one, your parents lied to you for your whole life, and
Constantly.
two, that you did not do any sort of fact checking at all.
Oh no, I remember looking at pictures of my grandfather, and something I realized as I'm older, we all look the same as we get older. Like, we're all wrinkly, we all have big ears and noses, and we're all like getting tan from being out in the sun too long, you know. I was like, yeah, dog, my grandfather's fucking Native American. He's like, he must be like a fourth or something, you know.
It's a black and white photo, so you can't really even tell.
Yeah. Jack? No. But yeah, no, I didn't fact check anything. And I mean, they just did that shit to me all the time. So you know what they did for my first vehicle? My parents got me a Pontiac Grand Am.
Everyone had one of those, I feel like.
96 Olympic edition. I walk up the driveway. I look at the license plate. What's it say on the license plate? DeWigwa. I had that license plate, by the way. I kept paying for the personal one for like...
This is Gypsy Rose right now.
There's going to be an HBO documentary about it's like, nothing real bad happened, but Alex is an idiot.
Yeah, no.
Radiologist / comedian was traumatized for 15 years through license plates and genealogy tests.
Yeah, he 180'd. He had long hair and braids, and now he's like a skinhead looking guy.
Now he's leading a group of neo-Nazis across the upper Midwest.
He actually camped out at DAPL for like a good year and a half.
Oh my God. Was that the pipeline?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yes, turn the dogs on them. No, I'm just fucking around. Yeah, man. I've been working medicine for a long time, and my wife finally got tired of me talking about, man, I really should get up there. I think I have a good joke idea. She goes, good. Go tell other people. And then I just did. I met you guys at Big Dog Tiki Bar.
What about... You really threw me off there. What about, like you said, you're writing your jokes. At our last open mic, I was trying to catch up with you and like BS. You were so in depth.
I felt so bad about that too.
I can't think of this joke. I'm like, dude, who gives a shit?
I hyper fixate on stuff. It's constantly imposter syndrome too. Like when we do our shows, like the paid gigs and stuff that you've set up for us, and we get big laughs. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm killing it. But then as soon as I'm off that stage, I'm like, I'm not funny at all, you know. And that I hyper fixate on trying to like get jokes down, and a bad habit I have is like over explaining. Women, you might call that mansplaining, but all right, fine, fuck you guys, I like that. But like my wife told me, she's like, less words. So Samson comes up to me, right? Well, the last time we did open mic, he has this whole joke, and we're talking. He goes, I don't know how to punch this up. What should I do? And I just went, oh, I was told to do less words. Maybe try that. And he goes, yeah.
Then you're like Kevin from The Office.
Yeah. Why
Me go now.
Why use many word when few word good? Yeah.
Sea World. Well, see, are you gonna see the world or go to Sea World?
And like, I was thinking about this too, because when we first met and we were talking about, like, I was like, hey, who's your favorite comic? Who do you like? And you're like, oh, I like this and that, but I try not to watch too many comics because you were afraid of like
subconsciously stealing jokes.
Yeah. Nobody wants to get the Mencia treatment.
Yeah.
You know?
That one was pretty blatant though. There was word for word.
And Dane Cook, I mean,
Yeah.
It's
actually the second day in a row someone's brought up Dane Cook to me.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, third day in a row because I said it to Jordan.
You're on a heater. But anyway.
Yeah. I'm consciously doing that too. Like I watch a lot of podcasts, like Matt and Shane's and Rogan and all that. And I'll watch like Joke World on YouTube and get like the latest updates from like what the comedians are talking about. And I have to constantly be like, okay, you can't talk about this because, you might subconsciously be taking that from them, But there is a thing called like parallel thinking too, It's not
Do you ever write a joke and then you see someone do a joke that's kind of similar?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I've had to kill a couple of those jokes. I can't remember them right now, but I was like, well, that one's done. Can't use that
I
now.
think every North Dakota-based comedian has a joke about Dickinson High School being the midgets. They have done at one time.
Samson goes up first and Brandon's like, ah. Yeah.
And I've literally done a joke about the Dickinson midgets at a show before,
Also,
too.
hell yeah, dude, dig your heels in. Keep those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, comedy's been really interesting so far. What I'll say to, like you said, right when you get off stage, one thing I experienced when Matt and I started doing shows, like obviously we really liked it, and especially when you just put yourself out there, it's your very first time, because we didn't do any open mics.
Mm-hmm.
Matt and I raw dogged this bitch. We just did a show.
And had a guy play music afterwards.
Yeah, just like out of the blue, we just did a show. We had no prep whatsoever, but I thought it went really well. We survived and heard laughter, so that was like a good sign.
Right.
After that first show, I was on such a high, like, because it's a lot of planning too that comes together, and then what I experienced like the next day though was a massive low.
Yep.
And like I'm just used to that now, where because my second show the same thing happened. I was riding a nice high after the show of just like performing well and everybody having a good time, and like it feels good. Feels good to be liked. It feels good to work hard at something and execute it.
Right.
And then the next day I experienced that low again. So yeah, that's just like a part of, that's just the cost of doing business, I guess. It's just like you work really hard at it and it's awesome because obviously you don't want to go up there and bomb or do a poor job. And then when you go up and you do a really good job, you do really well. That's what you want, but it's like, okay, I know what's coming. Let's not get out of hand here. So that's definitely
your
something.
ego. You're like, yeah, I got to bring this thing down.
Yeah.
Well, like the amount of like dopamine that your body's producing when you get like a laugh, it's like it's a high that you'll
Or just walking on stage.
Yeah.
Like, all right, here we fucking go.
Yeah.
Like,
and like you almost need to like decompress for a day. Because like the build up for that, like, oh, we've been promoting this for 4 weeks and you have 20 minutes.
Right.
I straight up do. I'm like mentally exhausted because especially the shows that like we put on. I mean, any show I've been a part of, it's always been like, okay, if I want this to do well, I need to like go the extra effort and like make sure the promotion's on point, make sure the production's on point. Like, let's not just show up and be like, oh yeah, it's all set up, ready to go. It's like, you gotta check that shit. Like, this isn't a professional comedy club necessarily, so if you want it to be right, you just got to check it yourself. And on top of that, the whole week leading up to shows, I am practicing these jokes over and over and over and over. And Matt and I always talk about it of like a nice balance of not getting robotic, of like, okay, you're not just like kind of spewing it out like with no emotion, but also you want to like make sure kind of how to navigate your joke and like what the punchline is and how to transition from one to the next, or if this happens, you gotta jump on that opportunity. Or for the crowd responds this way, you gotta like react. It is mentally the hardest thing ever. Yeah, because like you said, the next day I literally am like, I'm gonna be a pile of shit the next day because it's like I'm just like my head hurts. My head hurts.
I feel like it's the same as like when you studied for a test and then you took the test and you're like done and you just kind of dumped it out of your head.
Immediately forget it.
Yeah. Because like I'm doing that right now because you kindly got me booked for another show. We're going to be at Laughing Sun at February 22nd. Is that right?
You got it.
And I know the week and a half before that show goes, actually before that, because you and I are going to be going down to Pollock, South Dakota to open for a guy.
Yep.
And I already know, I'm like, well, I got to make I have to take my best 8 minutes of that.
Yep.
And then, but now I got to like how long are we doing at Laughing Sun? Same thing, 20 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, that's a nice rule of thumb.
Okay.
I'll see what I come up with.
Crowds that most of them, or do you like the random?
I want to get to random crowds because it's hard to gauge if you're still like, if the jokes are still hitting. Are they laughing because it's you up there, or are they laughing because the joke is funny?
Yeah, it's like when we first started, Jordan's like, I like doing it like when I know everyone in there. I'm like, I'm the exact opposite. Like, I would rather do it in front of no one that I know.
Right.
Well, that was for like a bit from a business standpoint,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, this is our home crowd. Because when we started, it was like, hey, this is no brains, no headache comedy show. We have done a good job of like getting a following and a fan base. So it's like, I like that because it's like
Shows that
guaranteed
your work.
ticket sales. You're guaranteed to have a good time. People are going to enjoy themselves. And it's just like easier. But I agree with you guys. Like, yeah, you definitely need to get in front of the random crowds. That's why I want to go hit some other markets.
Well,
And
that's
really test yourself of like, okay, am I funny, or do I just have a lot of friends who know I'm a character, and when I say ridiculous shit, they laugh.
Yeah. Well, and that's like me trying to set up the 24 place over there, just trying to do open mics. I'm like, we all need to sit down with them, I guess, and because I know you're doing a show with them over there too.
Yep.
Which is good. And I think Samson's doing a show at the theater. He asked me to do that one. Am I and Brando and Cole's gonna, I guess, do host. Cole's gonna host. So
I think there's a lot going on too, but like getting some sort of consistency too is something, because like there's a point where like, oh, once a month, or literally the only time we could do comedy is when we put on our own show.
right, which I love, because you guys were like, we're not gonna wait for it to come. You guys were like, you did the Thanos thing. You're like, I'm gonna do it myself, and then you put on the gauntlet and you did it.
I mean, that's what I realized early on of having the podcast and the No Brains No Headache brand. It was like, you know, the classic complaint around here is like, there's never anything to do. It's also a very cheap town, so we need to normalize like, hey, you can pay for things. It's okay to spend $20.
Yeah.
Fun. Like,
And buy some beers while you're there.
Yeah, like
It's like an experience too that people are just like, well, it's not what I normally do on a Friday night. It's like, yeah.
Well, then you're never fucking happy.
Yeah. It's like you're just sitting home jerking off on every Friday night.
well, it was just kind of like, okay, I need to
I'm just gonna go home and beat the shit out of my wife.
need to take them, into my own hands of like doing stuff. Like, okay, if I want to do comedy, or if I want there to be a watch party or a live recording, or just even just a party, just a get together. It's like, okay, well then let's make it happen. Like, do it. Like
there's a lot of, it's starting a podcast, and it's kind of similar to like, oh, we should open a bar.
Right.
That's what like the new version of we should open a bar is.
You
like,
get drunk with your buddies, you have a good conversation. You're like, oh man, we would have a great podcast together.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure?
Yeah, or do it then. Like,
Try it.
it's like the amount of, I think it is, the statistic on it is like 95% of podcasts that are ever created failed after 4 episodes.
Right. Fuck yourself, Jordan. There was things that were going on behind the scenes for that, sadly, and I don't care to hide it anymore. And I've told all of you about it, so I will send that shit downrange. I don't give a damn. But no, I gotta say this. I really wanted to say this at your roast too. It's a good thing. But I love that you guys are so brave. But you guys aren't afraid to take risks. You got the fucking equipment. Like I wouldn't know how to do. I'm looking at this thing right here. This is pod racing to me. You know what
It's
I'm saying?
actually quite simple.
Yeah,
Matt can't figure it out after 182 episodes, but it's quite simple.
Well, that's why it's on your side of the desk.
Exactly.
But no, you did it. You're like, you know what? Let's do a podcast. You're 100. This is 183, and you did it. You're like, I want to start doing comedy. You moved down to Arizona, right?
Years ago.
But you did it. That takes a lot of shit.
What do you mean with the Arizona thing?
A lot of people don't fucking leave their hometown.
Oh, most people say they're.
I didn't do comedy down there, for the record.
No, but
Okay.
you went on an adventure, for lack of a better not gay term.
It was pretty much a 5-month vacation in Arizona. I broke even. So
What time of the year was it?
it was January to like May.
Oh, not okay.
Yeah, so you snowbirded.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
You're
Yeah.
like, man, it's not so bad. But you got out of there when it was
Matt was
starting to get
nice
hot.
and handed me $1,000 and said, "Get the fuck out of town." So I did.
But yeah, no,
So I was also hiding from law enforcement. I forgot that part. But
What you were? Oh, I was like, oh, I got to hear this.
Just went down to Arizona, stole a family of 10's Panda Express order, and then promptly moved away.
I don't know if the Jorge Panda joke is actually good, but it is a fantastic story. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Over my head at this point.
So I think I've done a joke about it. I definitely
It's like one of your earliest jokes you've written.
Basically, I'll just tell you the story, not the joke version. When I was down in Arizona, it was like during COVID when shutdowns started to happen. So like one day I was working from my apartment. And that was the worst part, just being locked in my apartment by myself, like working from home, which was fine. But it was just like I didn't move down here to sit in a goddamn apartment. Like I lost my mind. I'll admit it. But early on, before the mind was completely lost, I finished work one day, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna go get some food. I'm just in the mood for some good food, and it's Phoenix. There's options up the ass. I'm like, Panda Express was years ago.
Good food, huh?
As a North Dakotan,
yeah, okay.
This wasn't an option.
Before we had a Panda Express, it was a treat.
You don't think Panda's good?
I mean, I've had it once, and it was in Chicago. So if that tells you anything,
I don't know what that tells me.
Probably ate a real panda.
Maybe.
But basically, I'm like, okay, I'll order online because it was like only like takeout and pickup. I'm like, I'll order online, and I have to drive over there probably like 15, 20 minutes, like wherever it was. I'm like, by the time I get there, should be ready to go, in and out, bada bing, bada boom. But I get there, and like they have a few orders, and I'm like looking at the receipts, and none of them are mine. And like an employee comes over, and they're like, we're like asking me like what I'm there for, and I'm like, oh, I put in an online order. Like, my name's Jordan. Let me know what you find out. And then like, I don't know, 5 or so minutes goes by, and then like even a manager came over and like asked me what my order was. I'm like, oh, my name's Jordan. I think I put in an online order. Let me know what you find out. And then like, then it dawns on me. I did the classic, like went through the whole order, but you didn't press pay or check out. Man. It dawned on me. I'm like, I kind of was like, that's what I was kind of trying to get at to her, but she didn't really understand or care. So I was just patiently waiting, and the manager lady walks up to me with 2 full bags of Panda.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And like, this is beginning of pandemic. People are freaking out. The toilet paper and
Just
hand sanitizer is gone.
Yeah.
It's spoken for. Don't touch anything. Don't breathe. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't breathe on me. Don't look at me.
Right.
Is where we were at in the pandemic. So naturally, I just like accept the 2 large bags. I know they're not mine, but I don't care. I exit stage left as soon as I can. I get in my car. I don't even investigate. Like, I peel out of the parking lot. That's not a joke. That is. I remember being like, holy, I'm going pretty fast. Better slow her down. And then, like, as I'm driving back, like, rip off the receipt, and it was $45 worth of Panda, and at the bottom it said Jorge, and he paid with a MasterCard.
Oh man!
And it was 4 like family meals. So I just got away with it. Like,
and like every day,
honest mistake.
Like during the pandemic, that we were like, if we were at home, we would have like our group of friends would like do Zooms and like just sit there and talk, and like every day for a week, Jordan's just eating Panda.
Oh my god!
Yeah, towards the end, it got to be pretty bad.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a chore after a while, but
it was the first though. Right when I got home, man, I was walking on sunshine. My mind wasn't anywhere near lost because I was so focused on all the goddamn food I had in front of me.
Honestly, that might be worth it. Like, go to a restaurant and be like, yeah, just make me whatever. Here's $20, and then you like get home and you're like,
whatever.
You just open it and like it's a surprise. Unless it sucks, then it's like a super disappointment.
Right.
But
That's what I do.
Grandma got you socks for Christmas, boys. Yeah.
When I go to like restaurant bars, grilling bars, and I'm not drinking, and it's kind of got to be a dive that has cans of soda pop. I just tell them I'll take a soda pop, but just give me whatever you want. Like, just surprise me. I can't do that with beer. It's because it's like, oh, then you get a Miller Lite, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Doing like, there was one time that Jordan and I were at a bar, and he was like, oh, just I'll do a high noon dealer's choice, and she like brings 2 random high noons back, and Jordan's like, oh yeah, you can pick whatever one you want. And I grab one. He's like, I kind of wanted that one.
You ever feel like as you get older too, like it's okay to like fruity drinks now? Do you think,
I've always been okay with that.
I felt like when we were younger, it was just like, I want a 4 horsemen and a 3 wise men. And they're like, who hurt you? You know what I mean? It's like, give me all the, and you like drinking, you're like, oh, I don't know why I'm doing this, right?
One time I drank, I was a pretty good employee at a hockey rink where I would just go to bars before work. Mm-hmm. And I took a double 3 wise men shot. And then went and drove a Zamboni.
Well, I mean, there's no lines. Who are you going to hit, you know?
I know, I was better when I was drunk.
I've always been okay with the fruity drinks because, like, I'm a beer drinker. I don't mind drinking beer, but, you know, if it's like a big weekend, you know, holiday or vacation, there's a lot of alcohol consumption. Mm-hmm. I'll do an occasional beer or drink beer for one night, but then it's like, I get pretty sick of beer pretty quick.
I'm getting to the point in my age, I gotta start taking better care of myself because if I drink, like
you and me both,
beer,
my inside of my body's just black.
Guys, let's all promise to take better care of ourselves.
Dude,
Health on 3.
Why is
1,
my
2, 3,
hand so
health.
sweaty?
Dude, yeah,
you're detoxing.
Yeah.
that's happening. Yeah. Oh, it's been 5 minutes. Since I had a drink.
Alex, let's go throw him out in the snow.
That might be
His hand would freeze.
I was at my niece's birthday party today, and I was just like, kill me, please.
Yeah. Uncle Matt, why do you smell that way?
It'd be like when I was coaching and I'd come hungover and kids would be like, you smell like my dad.
When's the last time you seen him? Years. No, if I drink beer, my legs swell, and it's because they're like
that might be a medical problem.
Yeah, well, they're vasodilators. Like, it's sad when you're in your 30s and the doc's like, you can't have this much sodium every day and you can't have this much caffeine. Usually plantar fasciitis, that's just what happens. You know, you just got to like roll your foot over a golf ball for a while. Gout is horrific. So what happens is you get uric acid crystals and they get in the joints of your body. They're in every joint in your body.
Is it caused from drinking alcohol?
Alcohol, red meats,
Crystal meth.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I mean, there probably is a correlation. I feel like diabetics get gout a lot. Yeah, Matt's looking it up right now. So what happens is the uric acid crystals start to destroy the joint and the bone around it if left untreated.
In your foot.
It primarily shows up in your big toe, but yeah, sorry. You got me nerd spasm in here, but yeah.
Well, I've never experienced gout. I hope I never do.
Yeah.
But I was, at lunch with some fellows a bit older than I, and one of them was talking about gout, and then the joke was that his doctor said that he can't drink alcohol, but he has to, try to manage the pain. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, a couple of beers would probably numb it up a little bit.
Well, it's like back in the Civil War. It's like, drink this whiskey, we're gonna saw your leg off.
Yeah, there was no like anesthetic or anything. You're just like,
yeah. Weren't we talking about anesthesiology with your dad and Alec? And then he was talking about like the Civil War era.
Yeah,
of just sawing people's legs.
You just
up.
had sticks wrapped in leather, and you were just like bite.
Yeah.
You're gonna pass out from the pain anyways.
A lot of the medical utensils there were just torture devices, essentially.
Yeah. Like in Dances with Wolves. Did your tribe have any affiliation with that film?
He's about
the white ones.
He's about as Native Americans as Kevin Costner.
I was gonna say definitely Kevin Costner.
You were Kevin Costner for 15 years.
Oh, I was, man. I was
just smoking the peace pipe.
I have actually a giant wolf skull on my back. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yep, that's there forever.
Did you sleep in the chief's tent and watch him bang his wife middle of the night?
Where are you guys getting your information from?
That's a scene from Dances with Wolves.
I haven't seen it in years. I just remember.
Well, you're going to want to clear out 3.5 hours from your schedule so you can watch it.
Yeah, I never watch new movies. I just
Dances with Wolves is not a new movie.
Yeah, it is.
Dances with Wolves is
from the 90s.
Yes,
that's newish.
Matt, you weren't even bored when the movie came out.
Oh, yeah. How old are you?
I am 34 this year.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, you're either 25 or 72.
And when I shave my face, I look like a fucking
testicle.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a really bad hangover?
I've never had a bad hangover ever, and I've gotten plastered drunk. I don't know what it is, but I just don't get them.
Me neither.
I'm dizzy in the morning, but nothing hurts.
Because of your heritage, you don't get hangovers?
I needed
Fire water,
Okay.
I needed a spatula to get myself out of bed today.
So
You do look like a Krabby Patty.
do you get drunk ever? When do you get drunk at all?
A lot.
Okay.
I shouldn't say a lot.
That just it's got dark.
Yeah, all the time. Right after this. What are you doing? You driving me home?
Yeah, he's Denzel in Flight. I'm drunk right now.
No, my wife, like, if I'm left to my own devices, I stumble into alcohol, like, quite a bit. But after getting the talking to from the doctor where she's like, hey, you might want to start cutting back on that kind of stuff until you lose weight. I'm like, okay. So
you're going to lose weight and then we're going to go on a bender together?
might be. That's why I had to DD. I was like, I'll DD so I can't tempt myself to drink when we took Pedro out.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a fun night. That was fun. But I love Pedro. Him trying to get laid the entire night was great.
At one point, he met these girls for the very first time ever, I'm pretty sure, and then he was sitting at their table eating pizza with them. And I'm like, that might be more impressive than getting laid. Like, how do you get somebody to offer you?
That was the last bar of the night, too, wasn't it?
This is one of the more likable dudes on the planet. So
yeah. He's doing well. Have you been looking at his Instagram stories and stuff? Yeah.
I mean, when you have 50 comedy clubs, it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I feel like did you guys also like obsessively look at the mothership to try and see Dayton's picture if they took one of him for the open? Man, I was so bummed. I couldn't find anything.
I didn't. I just texted him, and then he never texted me back for a few days.
Yeah, the kid's a piece of shit.
Yeah, Dayton, you fuck.
Well, and then I was like, you better text me back if you want any spots, because I'm not just going to put you in a spot if I don't know you can make it.
All of a sudden, Dayton, you're on the mothership. You too good for us?
Yeah,
like,
so I was like, are you coming back? Or what's
the diversity we have in the comedy group?
Not great.
I was going to say, I mean, well, we lost Pedro, so that really cuts it down.
Yeah, we need to get a Spanish guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get like a Santa Maria tattoo or something.
Yeah,
that'll be
you
my
could
next
just
10
decide.
years.
Yeah, you could
Well,
just
according to your logic, you can just get any sort of tattoo, like, of anything, and that apparently makes you that.
I mean, technically, I'm ahead of the curve on the pronouns, apparently. So I did that long before those guys were throwing that shit around.
You got pronouns tattooed on you?
No, like I identify as Native American. Is what I was saying.
on your forehead, he, him.
That's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I should get... I'm debating. I'm going to get a tattoo one of these days. It's going to be an ass tat. I just don't see any other kind of tattoo that would, fix this temple or match this temple.
I got a buddy that's got a Hello Kitty tattoo on his butt cheek.
Should I get my pronouns on my ass cheek? Here, pronoun this. You want to see my pronouns? That'd be kind of funny.
I mean, yeah.
I don't mean anything bad against the whole pronoun thing. It's like a joke.
I think
it's on my ass.
I think we're all just too tired.
You ever look at like someone like thinking about adding someone on like Facebook and you like click on their profile and they have their pronouns on it and you're like, never mind, we're probably not going to be friends.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, all right.
What's your stance on face tats?
I love Post Malone, but I won't get one.
It's kind of becoming like socially acceptable now.
All of us comedians should get matching face tats from Samson, and then he should tattoo himself.
He's doing my next tattoo next week or the week after.
Is it on your ass?
No, he's putting a little. Fuck you guys, you're gonna make fun of me, but I'm getting
a feather.
No,
Yeah.
I'm getting a D20 on my arm.
What is that?
It's a 20-sided die for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'll fucking put you through.
Well, that leaves us nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
I
just realized that we have absolutely nothing in common.
Alex, you're a big fucking nerd.
I mean, I love Dragon Ball Z, so I mean that's pretty nerdy.
Man, speaking of anime, have you ever played this game?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna give you a high five, but the hands are sweaty.
You're in radiology. What do you think of our X-ray reader over there?
Matt was asking me if I wanted to take it home before the podcast started. Yeah, I haven't
Do you
seen
want
one.
it?
No,
Okay.
I haven't seen one of those since I was in college.
Now, I know we've asked you before, but I'm going to ask you again. Where could we sell that? What's the resale value?
Fuck, man, you probably get an old fashioned for it or something, man. I don't know.
Old-fashioned hand job?
Old-fashioned hand
In
job.
the parking lot of high school?
I mean, it's probably a calloused hand hooker that's going to give you the old-fashioned.
I like a little texture.
Yeah.
It reminds me that she's actually there.
Yeah, she's seasoned. But no, I don't think. I don't know, man. Maybe you get like you could probably get it to an antique shop. They'd probably buy that off you.
What do you think of it, though? Pretty sweet. It works.
I mean, it brings back memories.
It works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just flip the switch. Yeah, Matt handed me the X-ray. He's like, "Look at this guy's back." I'm like,
Oh, yeah. What do you think of the back?
Hey, it's actually normal.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Looks
probably.
crooked as hell.
It's
It's
probably.
like a question mark.
Yeah, this guy's shaped like an S.
Well, I was telling Matt, it's probably positional. If you gave it to a radiologist, which are the doctors that read the X-rays, I'm just the tech that does the exam. They'll say like, oh, probably positional, whatever curvature of the lumbar spine, blah blah blah. Blah.
Positional meaning they're in a weird position.
Yeah, the guy's probably, and it does look. If you look at his sides, he looks like he's kind of like.
You guys
curved.
ever think about having like a chiropractor on hand just to like get them a quick
You
adjustment?
don't want my opinion on this.
I think chiropractors are a gateway drug.
Chiropractors are. They're fucking don't. You're gonna get me going on this. You guys
Is-
go to
is that-
chiropractors?
No.
I have before, but
I think it's a gateway drug because they just mess you up enough where you have to come back. I have a coworker who literally has to go to the chiropractor every single
Stop going
week.
to him.
That's their
Stop
problem.
going to him. Go to the doctor. Go get a massage. All right, that's it. I'm doing it.
I have time. I don't have anywhere to
Fuck
be.
yeah, dude.
I'm
We're
kind
doing
of
it.
tired, but I mean,
I mean, yeah. I woke up at 3:30, but yeah, I hear you. Chiropractors, it's not real. It's not real to me. I have seen the aftermath of what happens when it goes wrong, and it, in my opinion, probably doesn't work to begin with or goes wrong. That's the two things. I've had patients that have had strokes, and I've done CTs, CAT scans. I've done CTs on 3 of the 5 cases I've heard of where they had a stroke because the chiropractor adjusted their neck and they pinched their carotid artery off. That's more common than you think.
Damn.
I've had patients that have had their knee adjusted and they had injured it and they had a partial like ACL tear. And then when the chiropractor adjusted their leg, snapped it right off. I've had elderly patients that have fallen, partially break their hip, but they're still okay to walk on it. It's kind of weird. They went to the chiropractor first. They
Okay, well,
adjusted
maybe
her
that's,
hip.
that's situational,
Yeah.
I feel.
Fucking-
Oh, hey, my hip is almost broken. You know what we should do? Have this stranger yank on it.
yeah, break your penis, then only fix vaginas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Lewis Black. Any X-ray tech worth their salt that you're going to talk to is going to tell you chiropractors are quacks. Go to a massage therapist.
I'm trying to think because they're doctors. I'm trying to think like what's the other doctors.
They're not really doctors. They're full of shit.
Yeah, well, any doctor that prefers to be called Dr. Kevin instead of their last name is not a real doctor.
Yeah, that's like the substitute teacher kind of treatment.
Yeah. I mean, I'll respect you if you go by if you go by Dr. Julie. I know you're not a doctor. You're a dentist.
Right.
You break your penis, they only fix vaginas.
What is your stance on 2 people just like cracking each other's backs?
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, but
Do you want to crack my back after this?
I can do
I'm
that.
tense.
I used to do that to a bunch of my friends. I would just be like, all right, cross your arms. All right,
You do
breathe
that
in,
one?
breathe out. Yeah, breathe in, breathe out, and I pick you up and I shake you.
One time the one where you lay down, you like push on their back. One
Mm-hmm.
time in high school, I did that. Someone did that to me in our locker room, and I farted when they cracked my back.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of sneeze farts lately.
Oh man,
What's your stance on those?
sneeze fart. Yeah, all right.
That's-
Check your drawers, I guess. How wet you feeling?
Dude, I pooped my pants at a grocery store like 2 weeks ago.
I don't know if I should tell this story, but I fucking shit my pants going to work one day up here, and it was at a certain gas station, and I was already sick, and I'm like, I don't feel so good, and I was filling up gas, and it was last winter. I shit my pants. I had to duck walk into the gas station, back to the bathrooms, throw my underwear into the trash can, and then go to work and be like, I can't be here today. And they sent me home. They go, why? Why can't you be here today? And I just went, I shit my pants. And they go, really?
Yeah,
and
no,
I,
you need to go.
yeah, they're like, you're okay. You're gone. Punch out.
I mean, for a full grown adult, I shit my pants entirely too much.
You have a lot of the creature in you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like our Gene Simmons.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, he's the pillar of health, so that makes sense.
If they ever did an autopsy on me, it'd just be black on the inside.
Yeah, if a shark ate you, it would get drunk.
Dude, after my roast, we both got pretty wasted, but he woke up with a rib bone on his nightstand.
There was a rib bone on my nightstand. And the thing is, there wasn't any ribs in my house.
Yeah, you're like, where'd I get this?
Like him and his roommate, neither of them had ribs left over, frozen. Was it a dog bone?
No, it was a rib bone.
Man.
And
dog bone though.
I
do
so
this
funny.
thing where it's like when I get home after having a couple cocktails, I like for whatever reason need to eat. And so like
yeah, because your body's like, okay, can we get something besides beer in here? Please?
But I'll be like, you know what I need? 4 pounds of buttered noodles. Or like, and then I always take it.
So
I always take it to bed.
I do that sober, and people just call me a fat fuck.
Yeah, I was my New Year's resolution: don't eat in bed. It's like January 2nd, and I'm just eating an entire bag of munchies in my bed.
I'm not. I know you guys drink some copious amounts of alcohol sometimes, and then you're like, hey, do you want like a fruit snack? And I'm like, knew it. I knew you guys are gonna have fruit snacks running around here.
Yeah, I gave you a pre-show fruit snack.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved
death,
it.
taxes, and the studio being stocked with fruit snacks.
I won't show up. It's just if they.
I heard you guys complaining you didn't have fruit snacks in the last episode.
Yeah, I had a whole box in my car.
Well, I got here and morale was low, and then because I looked in the garbage and there was an empty box of fruit snacks, and then Matt's like, "Oh wait, I have some in my car," and I'm like, "Get them now!"
Pause. Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. I think we covered everything.
Yeah,
I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah,
we've been going for a while. It's good to know that you don't suck behind a microphone, so we can definitely have you back.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit. I was actually very excited. I was nervous. I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh god, I don't know if I can, how I'm going to carry a conversation with these guys. But we did. I think we did great.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to talk to people. I feel like.
Yeah,
when you don't actively hate them.
Yeah. I was about to say when you enjoy them. That's actually the word, Matt.
Yeah.
That person came to me and essentially pitched me the idea of no brains, no headache.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, so you're just pitching me I'm tired of people stealing my ideas, first of all. I mean, I'm not entitled to podcasting, but it's like, don't come to me with my own idea, please.
It's like going to McDonald's.
It's insulting.
Going to McDonald's and be like, hey, you guys want to open up a burger shop?
Yeah.
Well, I still haven't gotten back to him on that. I'm not going to about his proposition, especially after you told me what happened, and I went, yeah, that tracks. Actually, I don't know why I'm still so angry about that. I just need to let that go. But, yeah, I don't know. It just is what it is, man. That's why I was actually going to ask you guys. I'll ask you after the show about it, but I was going to ask you a question about something, but.
Well, you got your redemption on podcasting.
Yeah.
Did a great job. Thank you so much for coming in studio to No Brains, No Headache podcast. Matt, before we end the show, what can our listeners do to get a taste?
They can follow us on social media. Just search No Brains, No Headache, and it'll come up on all your platforms. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Hit up Spotify, hit up Apple Podcasts. You can leave us a review, leave us a rating. Do whatever you want. You probably won't do it anyways, so let's get the hell out of here.
Matt's super optimistic in the
is.
new year, which is really nice.
New year, new me.
Episode 184 up next. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
This is a freestyle off the top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again, 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 again. I do it only once. Again, 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 again. I do it only once.